It's about Mark, my ex, and his new girlfriend. Well, ex-girlfriend now, thanks to me. And honestly, I don't regret a single thing. Not one. My name is Savannah, and I'm 29. Mark and we were together for almost 4 years. It felt like forever, honestly. We lived together for most of it, in this perfectly cute little apartment in Dallas. You know, the kind of place you see in those stupid rom-coms, where everything is sunshine and rainbows. Yeah, that wasn't us. Not really. From the outside, we looked great. I posted all our relationship highlights on Facebook, cute selfies, us at concerts, him bringing me flowers for no reason. Validation seeking? Maybe. But it worked. Everyone thought we were perfect. People would comment, relationship goals, or you two are just the sweetest. And I'd just smile and hit reply, thanks. He's the best. Meanwhile, in real life, half the time I wanted to actually scream at him. Mark was fine. He had a decent job, worked in some tech support thing, nothing exciting. He paid his half of the rent, mostly. He was a too nice guy, you know? Always trying to avoid conflict, always bending over backward to make me happy. Which, sometimes, was nice. But mostly, it was just annoying. Like, stand up for yourself, dude. It made him so easy to control. I swear, I could get him to do anything just by batting my eyelashes or, if that didn't work, tearing up a little. Works every single time. Emotional manipulation? Absolutely. Why wouldn't I use it if it worked? Our fights, when they happened, were usually about stupid stuff. Like, I'd want to go out with my girlfriends, and he'd try to act all pouty. Can't you just stay home with me tonight, Savannah? He'd whine. And I'd be like, no, Mark, I can't. I have plans. He had these stupid hobbies, too, like building model airplanes in the garage. Seriously? Who does that? I tried to discourage his growth and his hobbies if they didn't include me. Don't you think that's a little childish, babe? I'd say, all sweet and innocent. He'd usually drop it after that. Comfort zone controller, that was me. I also had this thing where I'd check his phone sometimes. Just to see what he was up to, you know? See who he was talking to. But if he ever asked about my phone, I'd be like, are you serious? You don't trust me? What, am I supposed to account for my every second? Double standards, much? Totally. Privacy invader, secret keeper, that was me, too. It was all about what was good for me. Things really started going downhill about a year ago. He got this new boss at work, some Mr. Growth mindset type who was all about therapy and setting boundaries. Like, gag me. Mark started coming home talking about healthy communication and self-awareness. I swear, I wanted to roll my eyes so hard they'd get stuck. He even started trying to set boundaries with me. Can you believe the nerve? One time, I wanted to go on a trip with my friends, a whole week in Miami. I told him he needed to cover my half of the rent for that month, plus some extra for my spending money. You make more than me, Mark, I said, it's only fair. Financial entanglement at its finest. He tried to argue, but Savannah, we agreed on splitting everything evenly. I just stared at him, hard. Are you really going to make me miss out on this trip, Mark? After everything I do for you? I even teared up a little. He eventually caved, of course. Fine, Savannah. Just this once. Moving goalposts, that was my specialty. He started getting a little passive-aggressive. Instead of actually arguing, he'd just sigh really loud, or give me these little sarcastic comments. Oh, you're so busy with your friends, Savannah. I totally understand. Like, yes, I am. And yes, you should. He was becoming burned out, I could tell. Emotionally numb. And honestly, it made him even more boring. Then, about 6 months ago, he finally did it. He ended things. Can you believe it? He actually sat me down and said, "Savannah, I can't do this anymore. I feel like I'm walking on eggshells all the time. I'm unhappy." I just stared at him. Unhappy? I was unhappy. I was doing him a favor by being with him. I tried everything. I cried, I begged, I even threatened to break up with him, which, let's be real, he was already doing, but it was the principle of the thing. Relationship hostage taker, right here. But he just kept saying, "I'm done, Savannah." He was like a wall. Totally checked out. So, he moved out. Into some tiny apartment in a less than great part of town. And I stayed in our cute place. Which, between us, I couldn't really afford on my own, but I wasn't going to let him know that. I still had my job at the office, doing my usual thing, dealing with my boss and all the little daily dramas, but my mind was always on Mark. I was constantly checking his Facebook, seeing what he was up to. He didn't post much, which was annoying. Then, about 3 months after he left, I saw it. A picture. On his cousin's Facebook page. Mark, smiling, arm around some girl. Some blonde. She looked wholesome. Annoyingly wholesome. My blood boiled. He moved on? Already? After everything we'd been through? The nerve. I went into full-on shade session mode in my head. Who is this basic bitch? Look at her smile, so fake. And that outfit? Seriously? Jealousy wrapped as concern, I guess. I stalked her profile. Her name was Emily. Emily from Houston. Of course, she was from Houston. She worked as a kindergarten teacher. Ugh. Perfect little Ms. Goody Two-Shoes. I spent days seething. I messaged a few mutual friends, trying to get the scoop. Oh, isn't it so sad about Mark? He seems to be moving on so fast. I just worry about him, you know? He's so vulnerable right now. One of my friends, Jessica, who I knew still talked to him, gave me the lowdown. Yeah, he seems really happy, Savannah. She's really sweet. They met at some charity event. Charity event? Gag. I couldn't stand it. He was happy. He was moving on. While I was still trying to pick up the pieces of my life. It wasn't fair. He deserved to be miserable, just like me. He deserved to feel what I felt. Then it hit me. A brilliant, devious, utterly perfect idea. It came to me late one night, like a lightning bolt. I probably should have seen this coming, honestly, knowing myself. I remembered something. Something embarrassing, something crude, but perfect for this situation. Back when Mark and I were together, maybe a year or so in, he had a scare. A genuine, full-blown, panic attack-inducing scare. He thought he had an STD. He'd had a few experiences before me, you know? He was a reformed wild boy, used to have issues, now overcorrecting. So, when he got some weird little bump, he freaked out. He made me go with him to the doctor. It turned out to be nothing. Just a stupid ingrown hair or something equally as dumb. But at the time, he was terrified. Absolutely petrified. And he swore me to secrecy. Savannah, please, don't tell anyone. It's so embarrassing. If anyone ever found out, I'd die. His deepest fears, weaponized insecurities, right there for the taking. I even used to tease him about it sometimes, just little passive-aggressive comments, like remember that time you thought you had the thing? And he'd always blush and beg me to stop. Scorekeeping, using it as leverage. I knew this was his weak spot. So, I decided. I would tell Emily. Not that he had an STD. Just that he thought he had one. That he had a scare. That he was worried about it. That he had a history. It would plant a seed of doubt. It would make her question him. It would make her feel uneasy. And it would destroy his perfect little new relationship. I needed to find her. Not hard, Facebook stalked her. Found her job, her school, everything. I even found her work email address. Perfect. Direct and untraceable by Mark. I spent hours crafting the perfect email. I wanted it to sound concerned, like I was genuinely looking out for her. "Hi Emily," I started, "my name is Savannah. I'm Mark's ex-girlfriend. I know this might seem weird, but I felt like I had to reach out to you." Then I launched into it. I wrote about how much I cared about Mark, even though we weren't together anymore. How I just wanted him to be happy. And then, the kicker. Mark is a great guy, really. But there's something you should know, for your own safety, really. He had a bit of a scare while we were together. He thought he might have had an STD. It turned out to be nothing, thankfully, but he was really worried about it. He never really got tested properly after that, just kind of brushed it off. I just wanted to give you a heads up, because I wouldn't want anything bad to happen to you. It was a masterpiece. Just enough truth mixed with just enough implication to make her squirm. I made sure to add a little bit about how he's always been a bit secretive about his past and he can be a little forgetful about important things. Gaslighting expert right here. Making him question his perceptions and memory. I hit send. And then I waited. I bounced off the walls for a whole day, maybe two. I kept checking my email, checking Emily's Facebook, checking Mark's Facebook. Nothing. I started to wonder if it had worked. Maybe she didn't even open it. Maybe she thought it was spam. Then, 3 days later, I saw it. On Emily's Facebook. A short, terse post. "Some people are just not who you think they are. Moving on." No mention of Mark, no mention of me. But I knew. Oh, I knew. It worked. My heart did a little triumphant leap. Later that day, Mark called me. My phone buzzed, and I actually smiled. This was it. He was probably furious. Good. He deserved it. "Savannah," his voice was tight, barely a whisper, "what did you do?" "Do about what, Mark?" I asked, feigning innocence. "I have no idea what you're talking about." "You know exactly what I'm talking about," he roared, his voice cracking. "Emily broke up with me. She said you told her I had an STD." "Oh, that," I said, a little too casually. "Mark, I just told her what happened. You know, about the scare. I was just looking out for her. As a friend. I care about you, remember? I wouldn't want her to get hurt. You told her I never got tested. You told her I was secretive. You completely twisted everything," he yelled, practically spitting fire through the phone. "I just presented the facts, Mark," I said, cool as a cucumber. "If she misinterpreted them, that's on her, isn't it? And honestly, you were the one who had the scare in the first place. Not me." Convenience apologist, through and through. There was a long silence on his end. Then he just sighed, a deep, shuddering breath. "You're a monster, Savannah. And you're an idiot, Mark," I shot back, my voice laced with venom. "You chose her over me. You left me. You think you can just move on and be happy while I'm miserable? Think again." He hung up. And I knew, right then, that I had won. I had the last word. He lost both of us. And I got to sit back and watch it all burn. For a few weeks, I felt amazing. Empowered. Like I had finally gotten my revenge. I was on top of the world. I posted some cryptic stuff on my Facebook about karma and truth always coming out. Subtle digs. But satisfying. Then, the karma started hitting me. Hard. And it wasn't the kind of karma I had ever imagined. It started at work. I was already on thin ice, remember? After Mark left, I just couldn't focus. I was bitter, constantly complaining, and honestly, pretty rude to everyone. My boss had been giving me these weird looks for a while. Then one morning, I came into the office, and my boss called me into his office. "Savannah," he said, his face grim, "we're going to have to let you go." Professional destruction. Just like that. I argued, I pleaded, but it was no use. He just said, "It's not working out. Your performance has been declining, and there have been complaints." Complaints. I knew exactly who those complaints were from. Other women I'd mentally labeled as bitches in my head. Suddenly, I had no job. And no Mark to pay half the rent. My financial situation, which was already precarious, completely imploded. I had to move out of the cute apartment. Again. This time, I couldn't even afford a studio. I ended up having to move back home with my parents. At 29. Can you believe it? The humiliation. My parents, bless their hearts, were disappointed. They kept asking me why I was fired, why Mark left me, why I was suddenly so miserable. I'd just shrug, or blame the toxic work environment, or Mark's issues. Never my fault. My social life? Non-existent. Jessica and the others stopped returning my calls. They probably heard the whole story. Or maybe they just got tired of my constant negativity. I saw Jessica's Facebook post about Mark a few weeks later. He looked really happy, genuinely happy. Not just performing for the camera. He was with a different girl this time, someone who seemed even sweeter than Emily. My heart sank. Reversal of fortune. He moved on, again. And I was stuck. I'd scroll through Facebook, seeing everyone else's perfect lives, their relationships, their careers, their vacations. And I was just stuck. Living at home, no job, no friends, no boyfriend. The ultimate isolation. I achieved my selfish goals, ruining Mark's relationship, only to discover complete loneliness. The worst part? I still don't regret telling Emily. I regret that it blew up in my face. I regret that I ended up with nothing. I regret that Mark found someone else. But I don't regret what I did to him. He deserved it for leaving me. He deserved to be hurt. I lie in bed at night, staring at the ceiling in my childhood bedroom. My parents are always asking me what I'm going to do, what my plan is. Plan? I don't have a plan. I just have this bitterness, this anger, this intense feeling that everyone else is to blame. Everyone else messed up my life. Not me. Never me. I'm not the one who caused this. It's their fault. All of them. And I don't care anymore.